Hello and welcome to my second video looking at digit paperbacks. So I absolutely love this publisher. I've already shown you the first half of my collection, and in this video we'll be going right through to the very last issues that were published in the 1960s. So that is going to be today's video, and there's some absolute gems in here to show you. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay, so this begins the second batch of my digit paperback collection. This is number 455. It's called Butcher's Dozen. It's a crime anthology. No actual date on this one again, is there? No. We are probably looking at around 1963, 1964 for this one. It's Butcher's Dozen. This is quite nice. This is Edgar Allan Poe's tale of evil and torment, the fall of the House of USHER. And this is the movie tie-in edition, Anglo-amalgamated film in CinemaScope. This is pretty good stuff. That is actually a good one. Changeling Worlds, Kenneth Bulmer. And I'm keeping my eyes peeled to see if I can see any covers by Sam Peffer, or Peff, as he is one of my favourite artists. I know he did some digit ones, that's for sure, because well, there's definitely a couple at the end. Alan Ash and more sci-fi. And you'll find that in this second video, unlike the first video, which was predominantly war related, the second video is predominantly science fiction related, I would think. So that's what this is going to be. And there's some crackers in this. The Secret Visitors, James White. Brian Aldiss again, The Interpreter, nice bold, bright cover, that one. Don't mind a bit of an Aldiss. Another Edgar Allan Poe, Descent into the Maelstrom. It's a nice jacket, isn't it? A Man Called Destiny. Alright, more sci-fi. Brian Lewis, I see, was marked as the cover illustrator. Secret of Z.I. Kenneth Bulmer again. Once again, some of these jackets are really bold and bright. Robot Brains. Sydney Bounds. Brian Lewis was the cover artist there. Honourable Enemy. This is Osborne again. Another one of those Japanese prisoners of war stories, which were around at that time. A little subgenre. Oh, this is interesting. So the Civil Service enactment, Operation Bindweed. So that's quite unusual, isn't it? It almost looks like a humour title, although it's not. It's interesting. And it is a very, very mixed list, isn't it? The Uninhibited. They hunted down the invaders from space. Okay. Some more sci-fi. Here's that. Remember in the last video I said keep a note, because look, the satellite on the side there, that's the same cover we've seen, and it's been reused on this Brian Aldiss one, Equator, which is number 533. The cheeky little digit publishers there reusing the book jackets. Handbook for Spies. Well, okay, Alexandra Foote. So this is a handbook for spies, eh? I would say the handbook, what was it called? Ashenden is probably the best book on spying at this period. Here we are, 1,000 Ages, D.E. Ellis. More sci-fi. Almost getting bored with it all the sci-fi. More from One Step Beyond, from American TV, retold by Leonard Bresden. So this One Step Beyond was a bit like the Twilight Zone, I suppose. And that's a tie into that one. The Man with Only One Head. Now that You can just see the tip of Osborne down there, but that looks so much like Pef. But it's not. Let's see if there's anything on the front cover about it. Highly unlikely. They didn't generally credit the cover artist at all, did you? Let's put that over there. Kenneth Bulmer's Earth's Long Shadow, The Colonization of a Galaxy. Cool. Classic. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Robert Louis Stevenson. I wonder if that was around the time of the Hammer film. The United Planets, Dramatic Journey Between Planets, Victor Wadey. That's cool. Conan Doyle. Can't be a bit of Sherlock Holmes, and this is the classic A Study in Scarlet. I do love a bit of Sherlock Holmes. That's a nice jacket, isn't it? Jonathan Burt. Pursuit Through Time. A modern novel of science and imagination. Obviously John Burt did lots. He was a highly prolific author in his own right. Salamander War, Charles Carr. That's pretty cool. The World in Reverse, Luan Ranzetta. So although there's a lot of sci-fi here, there's not a lot of really well-known authors, is there? Until we get to this one. This is a crime. This is Leslie Charteris. Daredevil, which I believe was one of his very, very early novels. Quite nice to see a Charteris in there. The Day Khrushchev Panicked. This is real life story. Terence Hale, Galaxies Ahead, Lost in Space. Nothing to do with the TV show, alas. Saunders of the River. Oh, Edgar Wallace. Yeah, Edgar Wallace. This is a nice one. I reckon that's probably unread. A little bit tanned, but very nice all the same. The Secret Battle, another war one again. This is number 657, so we're about 2/3 of the way through the series. Tom Wade, The Voice from Baru. I wonder just how difficult it would be to try and put a set of these together. I reckon some of them must be blimmin' impossible, because they just don't seem to be around in the same sort of quantities as Rare, Pans and Penguin books. They're just not around like that. So I think you'd have your work cut out, personally. Defiance, Kenneth Bulmer. Loads of sci-fi creeping into the list now. Or maybe it's just me and I've picked them up. I've been lucky finding sci-fi. So another really nice copy of this one. Edgar Wallace, The River of Stars. Nice copy of that one. Kenneth Bulmer again, City Under the Sea. Nice jacket, that. When the Moon Died, Richard Savage. One of the most startling novels of all time. Okay. How come I've never heard of it then? Let's put those over to one side. Oh, that's interesting. That's quite nice, isn't it? Teenage Idols. So The Fabulous World of Pop Entertainment. Nice Elvis cover on that one. I see it's 3 and 6, which is a bit more expensive, but it's got lots of photos inside, so that's probably why it's a little bit more expensive. Really nice Elvis jacket though. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Teenage Idols. And that's exactly the sort of one that if you've found a copy, you probably have to pay a few pounds for it. Counter Stroke. I did do a little check on just on eBay to see what these digit books were selling for. I wasn't able to find Junkie, a recent sale of that one, although I think it's approaching £250, something like that. But generally speaking, they do range from these from about £2-3 for a nice condition war title, which is not a lot of money, up to 10 to 15 for a particularly mint unread, maybe juvenile delinquent title, or a really nice crime title, or mint sci-fi. It tends to be between £5 and £10 a pop. So you might struggle. I think they are around these, but you need to keep your eyes peeled, and also be prepared for some lower grade copies in the meantime, because mint ones are tough to find, although I have got a couple that I would say are virtually mint. That's a nice one, isn't it? Now look at that. Now that actually, speaking of really mint ones, that is virtually mint. A beautiful jacket, Witchwater. Really, I mean, that's not been read, has it? That very nice. God, look at the tiny print. Blimey. And this digit edition 1963. So we're only about 3 or 4 years off when these actually stopped getting published. And digit obviously got swallowed up into another publisher. Split Image, a novel of interplanetary menace. Oh, there you go. Okay. Satellite in Space, Professor A.M. Lowe. Once in Time, a novel of tomorrow. Okay. The Forgotten Race. Lots of sci-fi, isn't there? This is number 747. Julius P. Newton. Oh, we've seen his name before. Edgar Wallace, The Council of Justice. Corpus Earthling. This is another one, I think gets reprinted a little bit later on. Quite a famous sci-fi one, that. 1,000 Ages, that's a nice jacket. D.E. Ellis. From Outer Space, Mildred Danforth. Shadows on the Landing. And look, it's the same author as the other one, Witchwater, and also this is also virtually mint. I wonder if I got them at the same time. I would think I probably found those from the same person. Edgar Wallace, Jacko Judgment. It's a nice jacket. It's also really nice condition, that one. A few really nice nick ones. This is a reprint of The Interpreter. Remember, it was that bold pink cover. They've redone it for this one. Equally nice jacket, that one, actually, I have to say. Big Blues, so looking at the jazz scene. Number 767. The Otan Plot. 778. Creatures of the Mist. From beyond the sun they came in a menacing wave of terror. How bizarre. That almost looks like it's a Planet of the Apes tie-in. I wouldn't be surprised if Digit did that. Living Gem, another sci-fi one. I seem to remember this being quite common, so you probably find that one pretty easily. Silver Greyhound, it's another real nice condition one. Bernard Newman. If only all my digits were in this condition, eh? It would be lovely. Peacemakers. Science fiction again. Islands in the Sky, Arthur C. Clarke. Oh, well, that's pretty cool. I do like Arthur C. Clarke. I've pretty much read all his early stuff. Well, in fact, all his stuff, I think, I pretty much read at one point or another. Vern Hansen, Claws of the Night. Maybe that's a horror by the look of it. They don't do a lot of horror, does Old Digit, so that's pretty nice to have a sort of a horror stroke terror title. Split, a novel of interplanetary politics in a fantastic world of the future. I'm running out of room, so I'm going to have to move these over to one side again. Look at this one. This is nice. So, To Catch a Spy by Bruce Saunders. clearly Pef's signature there, and clearly Pef's signature there. So this is one of the ones I actually took to one of the London paperback fairs, and where I met Sam Peffer. This is back in the 90s, and got him to sign the cover, and that's where that is. That's really nice. I'm chuffed I've still got that one. Nice signed Pef. The World of Love. Okay. Oh, it's D.H. Lawrence. Yes, that's been tarted up to look something that it perhaps isn't. Nurse in Doubt. Okay, what's she doubting about? The gripping story of a young nurse torn between the conflicting paths of love and duty. Oh, well, there you go. Remind me never ever to read that. This Is Your Life. This Is Your Life. Bernard Newman. Ingenious gripping. A rare appearance of a war title. What's this? Nightmare Cottage. By the author of Witchwater again. Now look at this. It's that same author. It's in mint condition, or pretty much mint. That's 3 books by the same author, and I've got copies all in really nice nick. I must have picked them up at the same time. I can't think of any other reason why I would have them all in such nice nick. The Grip of Fear. This is a Pef one. There we are. Sadly not signed, so I probably didn't have this one at the time. Because I remember when I did get to meet Pef, I took all my Pan books that I had, everything that basically I knew that he'd done the cover for. I got him. Hold up, and here's another one. Literally the very next book. There's Pef's signature there, and there's Pef's signature there. Confess to Dr. Morale. He was such a nice guy. I think I took a whole bag load of stuff to get signed by him, and I'm really glad I did. I do regret not getting a photo taken with him, because he was, as I said, such a real gent. Mantissa of Death. Just a handful to go. The Iron and the Anger. So this is number 860. And the tail end ones, lots of numbers that were never issued. They just haven't been found yet, or are very, very low print runs, so that's why they're so hard to find. Robert Ray. And then my last one, the last one I've got in the collection, which is actually a digit, is number 99. It doesn't really look like a digit on the back, on the spine rather. It's 3 and 6. It definitely is a digit though. And it's dated 1965, that one. So that's literally about 9 years after the series started. And that is my final digit book. So that concludes this final look at my digit paperbacks. I do hope you've enjoyed looking through them as much as I have. Don't forget, if you do fancy collecting these, I will put a link in the description below where you can download the most comprehensive checklist that I've come across for digit books, and you can start ticking them off. But good luck with that, because some of these are quite tough to find. Anyway, if you have enjoyed the video, do please give it a thumbs up, and also do consider subscribing for regular vintage paperback content. Thanks once again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.